Welcome, beautiful souls, to this seasonal reading. We're going to start with spring, summer, autumn, then winter. Now you can either listen to it for the season that you're in, the season that will be coming up, or if you just feel drawn to a certain reading, that's perfectly fine as well. Spring is this blue calcite, summer is carnelian, autumn is black tourmaline, and winter is rose quartz. Let's jump right into it. Welcome, spring. Your crystal is this beautiful raw blue calcite. I was drawn to blue calcite because this crystal really embodies peace, serenity, calm, as well as connected to the throat chakra. It helps you communicate your truth and express yourself. Spring is all about rebirth. This is where new opportunities and new experiences are really going to thrive. It's a rebirth era. You have the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the King of Cups, the Wheel, and the Three of Cups. A lot of masculine energy, which in this season, you're going to be very action-oriented. You may be having a lot of ideas, inspiration, or goals that you're trying to accomplish. This is the perfect time to set your goals into motion, to take action towards what you're looking for, especially when it comes to financial responsibility and emotional stability. You're definitely in the more masculine energy than the feminine. You're working on your health, your wealth, and your stability. You're having fun and being playful while also being serious. You're protective of yourself, your goals, and your life. You might not be so focused on having so much stuff. You could be clearing out or being more intentional with the physical things that you have in your life. But you're being way more intentional with the people that you let in to your life. If they're not going to add to your life, then you're going to cut them off. And that's great because you have really strong boundaries, especially when it comes to protecting your peace. I feel like you're expressing yourself a lot more as well, especially in the way that you style yourself. This could be in the jewelry you wear, the color of your nails, the outfits that you choose, the makeup you wear. You're being more authentic and you're caring less about what other people think and say about you. You're building a stronger sense of self, and you should be so proud of yourself. You have done so much work to heal internally. You've become a lot more sensitive, and that's amazing because you have such a gift for your empathy and feeling. It's like you can feel the entire world. And for a while it felt like a curse, but it's actually a blessing. You're slowing down, you're rushing a lot less, and you're taking your time. You could be meditating more as well, journaling, and just focusing on yourself overall. I feel like this spring season, even though we do have the Three of Cups, there's a lot of solitude in this reading. It could feel like you're on top of the world, but you're really just focusing on balancing every aspect of your life, especially balancing your energy. This Three of Cups, I feel like you do have a few people in your life that you can count on, but it seems more like aligning with the different versions of yourself, especially with the astrological stars in the sky. I'm not sure which sign that is, but this Three of Cups, I'm getting more mind, body, soul healing and maiden, mother, crone, as well as if you're a menstruating person, your different menstrual phases. You are aligning with yourself, giving love and grace to the different versions of yourself. And instead of going against your natural cycles, you're working more with your natural cycles. So when you're menstruating and in the luteal phase, you're not forcing yourself to be more outgoing and adventurous than you are in the follicular and ovulation phase. You're allowing yourself this solitude, this peace, and this regeneration time. And then in the follicular and ovulation phases, those are where you have more energy. So you're allowing yourself to be more outgoing instead of forcing yourself in the house, and vice versa. That's gonna end spring. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Definitely stop by summer, autumn, and winter if you feel called to it. If not, let me know how this resonates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Welcome, summer. Your crystal is this beautiful raw carnelian. Summer is the peak energy. It's super warm. Unless you're in Alaska, then it's not very warm. But this is the peak timing of growth. And Carnelian, it cleanses you, it grounds you, and it's connected to the sacral chakra, which is all about your emotions, your pleasure, and your sensuality. Summer is also connected to the ovulation phase. And the ovulation phase is also the peak energy, the peak sensuality. And this is the perfect time to socialize, to try new things, to get out there and allow yourself to grow. I actually saw this Ten of Swords in my mind for spring, so it's funny that it pops up in summer. This summer, you are in your no bullshit era. You are way more free and self-serving than you have been, which is great because I feel like for a very long time, you were people-pleasing and you would feel burnt out and resentful. But now, you're kind of like the Ten of Wands, where you're dropping this responsibility that was never yours to carry. You are finally getting back to yourself. You are keeping yourself protected. You're having boundaries. You're communicating and advocating for yourself. But you're also not taking life too seriously. Like these Four of Wands, two women playing, dancing, being free. You are having fun. You're trying new things, and you're getting more in touch with your soul. You're spending less time on social media and doom scrolling, and you're spending more time in your life, in the world, using your time wisely. You're connecting with your creativity, your third eye, and you're expressing yourself in a more fierce, fiery, passionate way. In spring, that felt more of a design-wise, that you were expressing yourself through your character, through your body. But this summer, it feels like you're expressing yourself more through the physical. You are creating, you're bringing things to life that you had in your mind. Whether this is writing a book, it's crocheting, it's making clay and pottery, it's designing clothes, whatever it is, you're finally getting in touch with the creative aspect of yourself that helps to create and bring something to life. Especially with the Magician, this is all about manifesting. You have all of the power that you need. You could also be getting more in touch with your actual energy. You could be doing Reiki or some sort of energy healing. You could be more intentional with what you say, how you feel, and the actions that you take. And you're just being more energetically aware of your life. Your style might also be a bit different, or you're shaking it up physically. Because if you look at the outfits, especially in the Four of Wands, she has some sort of fishnet underneath her crop top and her jeans. Or it looks like almost like skirt jeans, and most people won't wear that, but you are embracing your uniqueness and your different sense of style, and you're feeling a lot more confident in yourself. That's gonna end summer. It was a bit short, but the messages were very strong. Definitely stop by spring, autumn, and winter if you feel called to it. If not, let me know how this resonates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Welcome, autumn. Your crystal is this black tourmaline, and there's a reason that autumn is called fall. And that's because this is where things are finally coming to an end. Life is becoming more slow, and black tourmaline is a very grounding, masculine energy. It helps to cleanse and to bring you back into your body. I didn't do it for summer or spring, I just didn't feel called to, but I set up these fake candles from smallest to largest, and it's really setting the stage. It's lighting the mood. This autumn, I feel like you're going to be slowing down a lot more. You're going to be taking more care of yourself, having self-care rituals, and focusing on refreshing your body, your mind, your soul. Solitude is going to be really strong. Honestly, I think this entire year, because spring and summer were both pretty solitude based, but they were focused on reconnecting with yourself. And I feel like spring and summer were very externally focused, even though you were focusing on yourself. But autumn, I feel like you'll be more inside. You're going to be more internally focused. Autumn is like the luteal phase in the menstrual cycle. Most women resist the luteal phase because it's where we feel the most heavy, the most glum. Our energy has plummeted. We're more critical of ourselves and of other people. We're less masculine, and what I mean by that is less outward focused. We don't have as much energy, so we're a lot more almost bleh, and a lot of people resist the luteal phase. It's going to happen no matter what, but there's always a timing for everything. I think there's a saying that says every season has a reason. Just like the luteal phase, sometimes we can resist autumn because we know that winter is coming. We're going to be forced into the house more. But this season will be great to reflect, to get more in touch with ourselves and our soul. And when we have this solitude with ourselves, really being undistracted and listening to the messages that want to come through. When we fight our subconscious, our darkness, it's still there, but it could be parts of ourselves that we don't like, that we're resisting. It's still going to pop up whether we want it to or not. But the more we fight against ourselves, the worse and the more stressful it will be. Understanding that we're human, we're going to have a light and dark version of ourselves. We're going to have positive and negative versions of ourselves. But running from ourselves, distractions, coping mechanisms, escapism, is not actually going to help long term. It's going to satisfy this temporary need of being away from ourselves. But you can never actually step out of who you are and run from yourself. So taking this time to really accept all the versions of ourselves and all the parts of ourselves that we might not like, we try not to show to the world. We have been conditioned to only show the quote unquote good version of ourselves and not show the bad version of ourselves. Facing that bad version, but also understanding we are not good and bad people. We just are. We have so many different facets of ourselves, but we run from that bad version of us, which could be super judgmental, could be shameful, our deepest, darkest secret that we don't tell anyone. It could be the bad habits and the way that we feel about certain people. It's still there. We just have to stop fighting it. Once we take a look at these different versions of ourselves and these different aspects of ourselves, it will free us, and you can release it. You can release shame, you can release experiences, but autumn is the perfect time to focus on releasing all of this past and negative energy that have been stuck in our bodies. Really taking a deep cleanse with water, with energy healing, with affirmations, with sage, any way that you feel called to it, using this season to deeply cleanse and release what is keeping you stuck, what you do not want anymore. You still have yourself. This season is going to help us stop looking externally when we do the work to come back home within ourselves, to love ourselves, and to build the strong foundation within. When we give ourselves the amount of time and energy that we give to other people, our sense of self strengthen, our self-worth, and our tolerance for what we are willing to receive. This will help you be more open and aware of the balance and connections that you have in your life. And if it is so out of balance where you're either giving too much and receiving less, or giving less and receiving too much, figuring out how to bring that back into balance. But I feel like we often find ourselves in giving too much and receiving less. So whether that's because that person is just not open and willing to give as much as we're giving to them, or it's because we won't allow and accept receiving from other people. If someone asks you if you need help and you either need help or you're too stubborn to let other people help, that's only hurting you. For example, let's say you're carrying 4 bags, 2 on each arm. If someone says, "Hey, do you need me to carry any of that?" I'm sure you can continue to carry all 4 of those bags. But if someone is asking if you need help, push through that perfectionism, that feeling of being a burden if someone helps you, and let them help you. Give them half of those stuff that you're carrying. This could be literal or it could be metaphorical. If you're struggling, talk to someone. If you have people that will be there to listen and support you, open up. Allow them to support you, to love you. There's always going to be someone that wants to help you. And if there are people that make you feel like a burden for needing help, for being who you are, then cut that person out. Cut those people out. Because that sounds like a them problem, not a you problem. But people who actually care about you and love you are going to want you to rely on them. They want to help you without needing something in return. That's just part of friendship and a relationship. It's a mutual balance of giving and receiving. That's gonna end autumn. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Definitely stop by spring, summer, and winter if you feel called to it. If not, let me know how this resonates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Welcome, winter. Your crystal is this rose quartz raw crystal. Every single one of the seasons, their crystal has been raw. And when it's raw versus handmade, raw is being authentic and true to yourself. Rose quartz is all about loving yourself and taking care of yourself. Winter is where it's gonna get very cold. Unless you're in California, then it's not gonna be very cold. But normally, winter is a transitional phase. And I've talked about the menstrual cycle, I think, in almost every single season. Winter is connected to the period or the menstrual phase, and this is the time where it's really calling us back to ourselves, into our little sense of hibernation. And winter is where all the animals actually do go into hibernation. I also felt called to grab my 136.1 hertz tuning fork. I'm not going to use it for this reading, but I feel like this season would be really great for you to focus on energy healing. You can do that through taking a bath, getting a massage, actually using a tuning fork, cleansing your energy with sage, palo santos, incense, visualization, affirmations. There are so many different ways, and do what feels right for you. But really focus on healing yourself. I love how the Four of Swords comes out because you can see she's resting. She's sitting there mending her heart, healing, and allowing herself this time to rest. Also, healing the guilt and shame of resting, because society has this go, go, go standard where you constantly have to be moving, doing, creating, and it prides us in working ourselves into exhaustion. Most people, it seems like they're going to give you a round of applause if you come in sick and still willing to work, versus if you just take that time to heal and come in even better, so then you can work with a much higher quality of yourself because you can give more of yourself. But society has this workaholic mentality where you get called lazy if you're not constantly working. Romanticize yourself. Date yourself. When you take yourself on dates, and this doesn't even have to be a fancy dinner, it doesn't have to be a fucking carpet ride like Aladdin. This can be writing love letters to yourself, giving yourself a massage, getting the sleep that you need. How would you want a partner to treat you? Would you want them to buy you flowers? Would you want them to massage your feet after a long day? Would you want them to give you a scalp massage? What would you want from someone else? Give that to yourself. If you want to go picking strawberries, take yourself to that field. If you want to go look at the stars from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., then go do that. Spend that time with yourself. When you date yourself and romanticize your life, you become a lot more self-assured, and this helps you to trust your intuition as well. In the High Priestess, her eyes are closed, but it looks like she's still looking, like she can still see, even with her eyes closed. And her third eye is open. Trusting your intuition, and the more you listen and trust yourself, the easier it is to come through. If you feel drawn to go do something or to not do something, trust that. Usually the first answer is your intuition, but then the logical brain goes, well, that doesn't make sense. No, I'm not going to do that. Or yeah, I still am going to go even though my intuition just said no, even though my body is saying no. When you ground yourself in your body, it really does tell you, it communicates through your senses. Winter is a universal timeout. It's giving you the time to rest, to come back to yourself, and it could be stressful, it could be chaotic, but it makes you stronger. It helps you face different versions and parts of yourself that you may not have been open to seeing or needing to see at that time. But there are going to be a lot of changes and a lot of endings, and something that you might have thought was secure that you were building actually isn't. But this is going to help you so much, because a foundation that was not built on solid land was never going to last. Let's say, for example, if you built a sandcastle right next to the water, you weren't given enough proper space from the water to have that sandcastle to stay long term. It might last 5 minutes because the tide comes in and washes it away. And you're going to learn lessons from this foundation of, okay, well, damn, that sucks. That didn't work. How can I fix this? It's going to build this sense of strength within you. It's going to help you learn. Once this foundation crumbles, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to help you find something that's way more stable. It could honestly even be a version of yourself that just wasn't suiting you anymore, or a relationship that has been long dead and it's finally gone, or it's finally ending. Whatever it is, it's going to supply you this long-term stability that you're actually looking for. That's gonna end winter. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Definitely stop by spring, summer, and autumn if you feel called to it. If not, let me know how this resonates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.